The Solid Condom by Magic Diamond takes the classic Matchbox penetration and turns it into a practical worker that professional magicians can use. It completely eliminates the need to reset the gimmick, allowing you to perform it again immediately. There are so many features with this routine that are not present in any other Matchbox penetration. However, there are also some things you'll need to be aware of, such as when it's appropriate to perform this effect. Now, is this right for you? Today, we're going to find out. I have a couple different objects. The first thing I have is this, which is a solid pick. I also have a box of cookies. Watch. We're going to take this pick and damage the cookies. Crush them up. Just like that. See, the pick goes right through the cookies. Now, when I do this trick, some people don't believe there's cookies inside this box. Because why would someone damage and completely ruin a perfectly good box of cookies? Well, you'd be right to question that. And it's a very interesting question, really. The question, would Blake really destroy a batch full of cookies? Well, no, that would be impossible. And I mean truly impossible, not just because there aren't cookies in here, but also because there is a block of solid metal. Solid metal. And they can check this out, make sure there's no cuts, there's no holes, there's nothing to come apart. It's a real box, it's a real block of metal, and a real pick. And that is the trick. If you find this review helpful, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload. Now, what do you get? When you purchase this rig, you receive a lot of things. The customer service Magic Diamond gives you is great. They include so much in your package. You receive a solid holder to put on your belt loop, and it stores the gimmick. The holder does the reset for you, which is crazy. As soon as you put the gimmick back in the holder, you are reset. The holder is made of a very, very strong plastic, and it feels like it would never break. You get your metal toothpick, of course, which you can stick through the box. It is also an ungimmicked pick. In addition, you'll get a little tool in case you are not using the holder. As I said, the holder is what does the reset. However, if you ever want to carry this without the holder, you can use a very small tool that does the reset instantly. Which is very nice. So you have multiple options here. You get a tool for maintenance of the gimmick as well. You get the license card in case your gimmick ever does need repair. There is warranty here. You can send it back to them and they'll fix it for you. You get 6 of the ungimmicked boxes as well. You get 2 different types of boxes for different performing situations. You get 3 condom boxes for more laid back situations in unprofessional environments where you could make kind of jokes and innuendos and stuff. You also get 3 cookie boxes, which is for when you would perform in any other situation. I personally would only ever use the cookie boxes when performing, as the other version is not my performance style. Finally, you will get your precision crafted metal gimmick block. The block is so well constructed and the mechanism is so well built that you would think that there's technology in here, but there's no tech at all. Finally, you receive the QR code for the tutorial and you'll get the link as well. What is the quality of the gimmick? The build quality on the gimmick is absolutely incredible. The only gimmick thing here is the block, and the gimmick is completely undetectable. The boxes and metal pick are not gimmicked at all, and I feel like the block should last you a very long time, but you will need to take care of it, of course. Make sure to not drop the block at all so you don't risk damaging the mechanism. I would be very careful when giving it to a spectator, not because they could find the mechanism, but because I wouldn't want them dropping it. But don't be afraid of them finding the mechanism. It's nearly impossible to find it. Even me knowing the mechanism, I tried to unlock it, and it's literally impossible to do with your bare hands. I would be more concerned with them dropping the gimmick, as I said. Now, there is some maintenance that you'll want to do with the gimmick every so often. They recommend doing it once a year, but I think this gimmick should hold up in general for a very long time. The boxes are made of cardboard, so you'll probably have to get more eventually, but they sell refills on their site for very cheap. Now, how's the tutorial? The tutorial is great. It's about an hour and a half long, and they go through an intro, what's in the box, a performance of both handlings, the secret, the maintenance, how to put together extra boxes, lamination, closing, and credits. It's a very good tutorial and covers everything. Everything you need to know, including the method, some subtleties you can use, some jokes as well, and of course, how to repair it. In case, not repair, I wouldn't say repair, but what I mean is how to maintain it, how to make sure the gimmick is in good condition. Just a treatment you can do to the gimmick once every so often. What are the lighting restrictions? No, there are no lighting restrictions whatsoever. Are there clothing restrictions? I wouldn't say so. It's easier to carry if you have a belt on, but it's not required at all. And that's just for the sake of the holder. It's easier to carry the holder on your belt loop or on your belt itself. But as I said, the holder is not required at all because they include another tool that you can use instead. That is honestly just easier to use because it stores the gimmick and also does the reset, which is nice. Is this a social media or a real life effect? Well, this is good for both. Both presentations also have a time and space. With the condom box version, you need to be very careful where you perform it. Even though the routine is extremely funny and has a lot of humor built in, it can also be inappropriate in certain performing environments. I wouldn't perform it at the Magic Castle. The cookie routine is the much safer option. There is less comedy. It's not as funny, definitely, but it's a lot safer. And you still can build in jokes if you'd like. What are the angles like? 360 degrees. You can be completely surrounded when you're performing this effect. Are there any live performances? Yes, there are multiple live performances in the tutorial. And I always like it when creators add live performances because it shows they have confidence in their product and they're actually performing it out in the wild. Is this examinable? As I said earlier, the block can be examined. I wouldn't be afraid of them finding out the secret, but I personally would be careful with who I'm handing it to. It's not that heavy, but it's a little heavy. I wouldn't give it to a kid. They would definitely drop it. But yeah, at the end, everything's examinable. It's nearly impossible to find the mechanism because it's so strong, even knowing how it works. Let's talk about the difficulty and practicality of this effect. Honestly, this is so easy that literally anybody could perform it. Anybody can perform it. If you can unscrew the pick and stick it through a box, that's literally all that's required. There's no sleight of hand, there's no switches, nothing like that. It's so easy. Honestly, this is one of the easiest tricks out there. Great for beginners, but it's also powerful enough to be used by professional magicians. This is practical in many close-up environments. Is there any DIY? No, but eventually when the box wears out, you have to build another. You get flat boxes and you just have to put it together. Also, there will be some maintenance that you will have to do eventually. What is the pocket space required? This does not go in your pockets. It goes on your belt. And if it does go in your pocket, and if that's the way you prefer to store it, that's still not a problem. The box isn't huge. It's not extremely heavy. Yes, it does have some weight to it, but it's not very heavy compared to other versions on the market. It's still pretty dense, as I said, but just not quite as heavy. What is the reset like? Well, I'd say this trick resets instantly. As I said earlier, you just put it back in the holder and then you're ready to go to the next table. That is what revolutionizes the Matchbox presentation and makes this a worker that is so much more practical than any other version on the market. It's that there has never been another version where the gimmick opens practically and on its own until now. What is the price of this? Oh boy, this is the heavy part. This is currently 250 euros or $290. It is not for hobbyists. It's not for people who don't perform. This is for workers who are willing to pay for this super well-made gimmick and those who plan to use it. This is absolutely worth the price if you want to use it at gigs because, as I said, although there are much cheaper versions on the market, none of them even come close to what this can do when it comes to practicality. But if you don't perform much, there is pretty much no difference between this and other Matchbox penetrations, because if you don't perform much, the reset shouldn't be that much of an issue. So it may be hard to justify the price point if you're not a worker. What are the pros and cons? The pros are this is a crazy gimmick. It's so well made. There's no angle restrictions. It's an instant reset. Doesn't require pockets as well, because it goes on your belt loop. The gimmick, the ingenuity here is really crazy, and it doesn't use batteries, it doesn't use technology, it just uses a really, really good method. Another thing is that they include multiple versions that you can perform this with. 2 different types of boxes, and you get 3 of each box. Now, as I said, they will eventually wear, and you will have to buy more. But I like that they include both versions, because as I said, one is for more unprofessional, laid-back environments. Maybe you're at a bar with friends and you want to pull out a comedic magic trick, and the other is for any other environment, or even in the same environment as the first. It really doesn't matter too much. Another thing is it's made for workers. The gimmick should last you a very long time. They show you maintenance in case the gimmick becomes less smooth over time. It's so easy to do. They include many different things in your box. The customer service is really awesome, and they include so much. The tutorial is great. There are live performances, and also I think that it's not too heavy compared to other versions. Yes, it's still dense, but just not as heavy. And there's lots of jokes to be made. As for the cons are, of course, number 1 is the price. I think it's justified, but it can definitely be a con for some people because it's very, very expensive. Very expensive. Not everybody will be able to afford this. And it will eventually need said maintenance, as I said earlier. But other than that, this is pretty much perfect. What percent am I giving this? I am giving this a 99%. It's just that good. As I said, the only cons are the maintenance and the price. But this is really, really good. It revolutionizes the Matchbox presentation. Thank you so much. Penetration, Matchbox penetration. Gotta correct myself. This revolutionizes the Matchbox penetration. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.